Well, playing Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I realised how much of an important character Phone Guy was back then. He was the kind of only, human we knew about, during FNAF 1 and 2 and 3. You know what I mean? He was the only good guy that was on our side. So it was really interesting to see how we kind of drift away from that. And it got me questioning what would happen if Phone Guy didn't die in FNAF 1 and he lived throughout the game. Would he still work for Fazbear Entertainment? Would he die on a future date? What would happen? Well, I'm here to solve that today. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe before I start this video, and enjoy. If Phone Guy survived, he could have possibly warned future employees of what was going on at Fazbear Entertainment. He could have warned them that maybe that William Afton was a murderer, and that there's something wrong with these animatronics, or he could even help close down the restaurant. I mean, he literally could have properly exposed Fazbear Entertainment. He knew about the Bite of 87, the missing kids, that was strange behaviour within the animatronics, the safe rooms, and so much more. And that genuinely could have brought Fazbear Entertainment to its knees. And he could have even helped Henry kind of bring down Fazbear Entertainment. He could have helped Henry kind of find the remaining animatronics because he knew where most of the restaurants were. There's a book that Scott Cawthon made called The Week Before Freddy's, and we basically see the FNAF 1 game from Phone Guy's perspective. And we learn that Phone Guy's real name is Raphael, and that he has a daughter, which is really interesting to me. Within the book, we can see that animatronics are constantly trying to attack Phone Guy. So I honestly, personally believe that if he didn't die within FNAF 1, he definitely would have died at a later date. Within, if it was FNAF 3 maybe, or sister location, even just a later date, he definitely would have died to the events of Fazbear Entertainment. Even if it was Fazbear Entertainment trying to silence him because he knew so much. He knew about the Bite of 87, possibly even the Bite of 83. He knew that a lot of that the employees were going missing. He knew about the safe rooms, and specifically he knew about the spring lock suits, which is really important within the FNAF lore. And if Phone Guy lived, it would have been really cool to see us play as him in one of the games. It would have been really cool because this would have helped us uncover a lot of the lore from one perspective, instead of a bunch of other security guards. If it's Jeremy Fitzguard or Mike, and if he was involved within the Fazbear Frights, he could have even prevented from FNAF 3 from ever happening, because he was so familiar within the Springlock suits. Once he saw Springtrap, he would have known that that's obviously a real incident that happened within that Springlock suit, and it would have prevented them from using it. And it could have even reopened the case between William Afton and the missing kids, potentially. And if he lived, the legacy of Fazbear Entertainment could have burnt down way sooner than anything, because instead of it being buried for decades, he could have, reported it to the police. One of the more interesting things that could have happened is that Henry could have recruited Phone Guy to FNAF 6 to kind of get all the animatronics together, because they would have obviously recognized him, or some of the earlier ones. And then once they're all there, he obviously burns down the place with Mike, Phone Guy, and Henry in it, and then just burning down the entire legacy. This would have honestly been a perfect ending for Phone Guy. Basically, the outcome is that if Phone Guy survived FNAF 1, it wouldn't have just obviously changed FNAF 1, but it would have honestly changed the entire course of the franchise. He could have prevented FNAF 3 by telling obviously people that own Fazbear Frights to not use that suit, and obviously maybe dismantle it somewhere, or burn it, or destroy it. And obviously it would have completely changed the entire franchise, because there wouldn't be a villain within the franchise. It would have just ended. And he could have exposed Fazbear Entertainment for what it is. He could have exposed the missing employees, the Bite of 87, maybe the Bite of 83, the suits, the back rooms, everything. Honestly, Phone Guy would have been such an important character within FNAF if he didn't die. And I think that's obviously why he did die, because the franchise would have ended so early on if he didn't. So let's recap. What would have happened if Phone Guy didn't die? He could have exposed Fazbear Entertainment at an earlier date. He could have prevented FNAF 3, and he could have obviously prevented every restaurant after FNAF 3 from happening. And if those restaurants did happen, he also could have helped Henry to kind of shut them down and prevent anyone from getting hurt or killed. He was genuinely such a crucial like character within Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's understandable that they killed him off. And that's basically it. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, put notifications on. This was a very interesting video to make. See you guys in the next one. See ya.